Yeah, just give us a moment, everyone, while we get Daniel and Dirty Laundry Solutions onboarded into here. Here we go. Folks joining in.
All right, let me just go back. Oh, here we go. Hey, Daniel.
Here, Daniel.
Awesome. Yeah, the floor is yours to share your screen. It's the square, the up arrow, and you can kick us off here.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think it was trying to bounce around between the different things, and then it said that I still hadn't registered yet, so I had to go back to that spreadsheet. But excellent. So I think, sorry, if I can get a quick introduction from everybody, that way I can know you guys. Holly, I can see your name, and then I can't see the other person's name.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, okay. Yeah, Jonathan and Holly, if you could give me a quick introduction about yourself so I have a little bit of context as I'm giving my presentation.
Sure. My name is Holly, and I have a company called Equal, and we work with startups and the spaces that help them grow.
Excellent.
Yep, I'm Jonathan Wallace. I'm with Expert Dojo. We're a venture fund based out of Los Angeles. Pre-seed, seed stage deals. Typical first check is 100K, go up to 1 million in the follow-on rounds. A little over 200 investments deployed over the last couple of years. So active fund, currently looking for new deals.
Excellent. Nice to meet you.
And Doug, did you want to introduce her?
I'm sorry, Jason, you want me to?
Oh, yeah. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm running a seed stage healthcare fund. We invest in the U.S. and Spain. We have offices in Boston and Madrid, and we've invested on both coasts here and Madrid and Barcelona there. And so we're dealing all the time with seed stage companies, and we follow on through the Series B.
Excellent. Well, nice to meet you, and I'll get started. I like to start my pitches by kind of giving you a high-level overview of the company, and then I can share the presentation slides. But throughout my presentation, feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions. I like the engagement portion of the pitches because I get to learn a lot, and then that gives me a better opportunity to explain our platform better to you. But so I am Daniel Ellis, the CEO of Dirty Laundry Solutions. Dirty Laundry Solutions is a platform designed to connect laundromats, which are existing today with customers who are looking for on-demand laundry. If you look across the country today, even your own respective neighborhoods, you're going to see there's going to be laundromats at every corner, if not a couple laundromats, depending on what part of the country you're in. There's over 35,000 laundromats alone. If you add dry cleanings, alteration shops, etc., there's over 100 places where you can get your laundry, 100,000 places where you can get your laundry completed in the U.S. today. 80% of those do not offer pickup and delivery or on-demand service. You have to drop off laundry. What we are is a platform that allows independent contractors to do the pickup and delivery of the laundry and take it to an existing laundromat to get processed. Currently, we've been able to deploy a licensing model where we've sold over $2 million in licensing. What that means is basically somebody who can own a license or an area or a territory. So for example, somebody can own the area of Austin, Texas. Somebody can own the state license of Texas as a state, and every single time we do a load of laundry or process laundry in Austin, Texas, the person who owns the area territory of Austin receives a profit share. So right now we have that at 3%. The person who owns the state of Texas earns a profit share of 3% as well. So currently we've sold over $2 million worth of licenses across the country, a variety of states and areas and regions as well. And why that's important is basically we've kind of connected the three key stakeholders when it comes to laundry. We've connected people who want to make passive income through licensing. We've connected laundromats who say, hey, I have excess capacity. I have a ton of machines, but they're not being utilized. And then we've also created the independent contractor who's looking to get into the laundry industry, but does not have to buy a laundromat. They can simply get into the laundry industry and provide pickup and delivery service using our platform, which we call a virtual laundromat. So with that, the key thing we've learned is laundry is a weekly frustration for most customers, and we can solve that by giving the pickup and delivery using independent contractors and laundromats who already have brick and mortar but don't have that arm of pickup and delivery, because one, to add additional staff is challenging, one, in our labor market today. Two, to hire somebody and manage them is something that most laundromats do not want to add onto their plate. And then three, it's if you add pickup and delivery, you have to buy a van or fleet of vehicles to exercise that functionality, and they don't want to pay for the liability and the insurance, etc., that goes with it. With that, let me give a couple seconds for questions before I share my pitch deck. Any
Daniel,
questions?
this is Doug. I have a question because I'm hearing each individual element and I'm having trouble putting them together.
Mm-hmm.
I think of laundromats as entirely self-service. It's a room with a bunch of machines, washers, dryers, etc. No staff at all, except maybe one person making sure that damage isn't done. So I understand you're adding this idea of pickup and delivery, but once the laundry is delivered to the laundromat, who's actually washing it, folding it, et cetera, et cetera? I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. And we've actually solved that using two methods. One is we allow the laundromat to process the laundry. So we can drop it off at the laundromat and the laundromat can do the wash, dry, fold, and give it back to us, and we'll turn it to the customer. We also have a laundry university where we teach people how to wash, dry, fold the clothes. So they pick up the laundry from the customer, they take it to a laundromat, they do the wash, dry, fold, and return it back to the customer as well.
So they're doing everything in that case.
Yeah. So we allow for both options where they can do everything or they can hand it off to the laundromat.
Have you had, this notion of selling 2 million of licenses? I don't know if that's actual revenue to you or what you're measuring, but I'm curious, have you had success in putting this triangle together so that the labor, whether it's the person who does the pickup and drop off or the laundromat itself, is actually in place? People have been added, the work is happening, et cetera. Have you been able to do that? And if so, in what markets?
Yes, sir. So we've been able to effectively do it in 2 markets, and we're launching currently in a 3rd market. Right now, we are fully operational in Austin. We have the person who's doing the wash and fold, as in doing the pickup and delivery, and taking it to a laundromat. We have laundromats there, and then we have an area licensee for this area of Austin. We have the state licensee for the state of Texas. Same thing for Bellingham, Washington. We have somebody who's actually doing the wash and fold.
What is the licensee actually paying for if they are not, in fact, a laundromat owner? What are they getting for the license?
Receive the territory ownership, so that anytime laundry is completed in that area, they receive a profit share.
And how is that enforced? The determination of how much was charged and
correct.
So
we use simple math. We just say 3% of every single transaction.
Right. How do you know the cost of the transaction?
Everything's in our platform, so this fully has payment integration. We collect the payment from the customer. We pay the market developer. We pay every single person in the pipeline. We pay through Stripe through our platform.
Okay. Does the licensee actually do anything, or they just paid you for a future revenue?
They have the option to be active, so they can help us recruit and get people onboarded and develop the market, but they can be completely passive and not engaged if they choose to be.
In which case, it's just a source of financing for you.
Correct.
Oh, interesting.
So let me share my screen really quickly. Just I guess, Jason, we have 4 minutes. This is completely over. That's question time after 4 minutes.
Yeah, you can use it however you. No, it's 4 minutes on this session here.
I used up all of your Q&A time. I'm not going to ask anything.
I guess I would say let's see if Holly or Jonathan have a question, and then you can also share your screen and go over any slides you have that might answer them.
The only primary question I had is, as someone who uses laundry services, how are you guaranteeing the quality of the product that you're returning back to the households? Because that is an ongoing situation in my personal life that is a problem.
Well, that's something that we thought was initially a reason why we started our platform a little bit different other platforms. So other platforms have laundry that's provided through, they take the laundry to their own home. So we take it to professional laundromats only. Um, and the way we do effectively have quality control is we process all of our independent contractors through Laundry University, and then we actually have a laundry coach that helps each of the market developers that we onboard through one-on-one coaching. And then we also have somebody from her team that's a part of our organization now that literally takes them from ground zero to an 8-week process where we say, hey, you don't know anything about laundry. How do we teach you how to do laundry from a basic standpoint, from a production standpoint, managing the obstacles that come with laundry, and then effectively having a quality service for the customer.
Okay.
Yep. Jonathan, do you have any questions or?
No, I think you answered most of them. I mean, a lot of my questions would be more on the competitor analysis side of things, but I think I'm pretty clear on it so far, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we talk competition, I would probably say we have three competitors, three categories of competitors. We have obviously laundromats who exist, who have pickup and delivery service, and they're trying to expand. The challenge that they face is they have to hire drivers, they have to bring on a fleet of vehicles, etc. The other category of competitors that we have is platforms that bring laundry into their own home. So customers, place an order, the independent contractor picks up the laundry, takes it to their own home, and brings it back to the customer. We believe that's not scalable. One, you're limited to one washer and one dryer in your house, unless you expand out to your garage or basement. And then two, it's very, very hard to control what happens in that home. So from a sanitary standpoint, from what's going on in the home, you have very little visibility. So let me jump back to the, okay. So I'll stop sharing my screen. We have about 59 seconds, so let me create space for another question, or I can
share your call to action. What are you looking for here?
Excellent. So at this point, we're looking for 500,000 in initial investments. Like I said, we've sold a decent amount of licensing, but we're looking for funding for marketing. So we need about 250K for marketing alone. Just to get in front of the customer more. There's just a lot of competition when it comes to Facebook and Instagram and next door ads. To be competitive, you really, really have to be in front of the customer a lot. And we're finding a lot of challenges with that. And then we do have a team of 3 people at this point, so we need funding for salaries. And then additionally, we are building our own platform at this point. We're using a third-party integration software, but we are moving to our own software in the next 6 months. So we're looking for 500,000 for all of that.
Perfect.
Where did the $2 million of license fee revenue go? How was that spent?
So we have a licensing company that we partner with. They take a portion of the license fee just because they have agents, etc., to fund.
What did you net out of that $2 million?
Out of that 2 million, we got half of it. So we got $1 million, and then over the last 2 years, we've been spending it on initial software development, initial staff, expansion, marketing development, etc., beta testing, and so forth.
Well, there's a lot I don't understand here, but I will say that the idea of doing something a little bit analogous to what Uber and Lyft have done to local transportation by harnessing all these people that have time and vehicles, and somehow doing something that takes the burden of doing your own laundry if you don't have the equipment in your house. Seems like an interesting idea. I have no idea, no point of view at this point whether your solution is one that will work. The landscapers are here. Okay. But anyway, interesting. I've never come across anything similar to this.
Yeah, and I think, the interesting thing about us is we took that and we added the licensing portion to it to just, create additional revenue streams for people who are interested in the market but don't want to be active.
Yeah, that whole part is the weakest link to me. I'm skeptical about whether that part of this is going to work, but I do think your problem you're working on solving is a worthy problem, and I think harnessing part-time help using equipment like cars that they already have, that's interesting, but the licensing piece makes no sense to me.
Okay. Holly, any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I also have questioning around the logic of the licensing component, and I mean I live in Texas, and so I am in Dallas, and there are a lot of services, honestly, that do what you're offering. They're all disparate and separate. But my curiosity is, I think it's an interesting concept to bring it together on a platform, but I don't know what the buy-in rate would actually be from these individual spaces. I also come from a background of my family owns laundromats in other countries, weirdly, specifically enough. And that's, I don't know how open those owners would actually be to joining on to something like this and giving up a percentage of the profit that they're already seeing for the exact same service. That's just some interesting, weird insight from my personal background. But
Yeah, I guess that's one thing that we've kind of hurdled over already. So the way we deal with laundromats is laundromats already have a set fee that they charge for processing laundry. We basically have said we'll pay that cost because you've already built that into your cost structure. What our value add is the pickup and delivery portion. So for example, a laundromat, especially Dallas and the surrounding areas, I know very well, you can charge anywhere from $1.25 to $1.50 for wash and fold, right? But if you add pickup and delivery, you can go up to $2.50 to $3.50 for pickup and delivery per pound. Where we make our profit and our cut comes from that second portion, not the first portion. So we allow laundromats to consistently charge their fee, right, until we get to a certain threshold where we become their biggest customer. If we become their biggest customer and we're bringing them 400, 500 pounds of laundry in a week, then we can start negotiating with them and say, hey, you charge $1.25 per pound. We brought you 400 pounds this week. After 400 pounds, let's negotiate for $1.10 a pound or $1 a pound, etc.
Okay, I mean, I think it's interesting. Just personal life experience, creating consistency in that space is really difficult.
For sure.
Really high turnover rate for employees, really high, just really hard to create consistency. So while I like the concept of the laundry university, my guess is that they're going to figure out ways to bypass that pretty quickly because they have super high turnover rates in-house. But
Daniel, I think what we have to do in our roles, we have to keep jumping from spot to spot. I think the next one's already started, so I'm going to leave. I do think what you're doing is interesting. It's very far from what I'm investing in. But if you send me something, and Jason can give you contact info, or you can go to LinkedIn or something, I'll think about whether I know people who would be interested in what this is. Send me like a 2-page executive summary and maybe a very short deck, right? Because I don't want to burden people with a lot of paper, but just enough to whet their appetite.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Don, I think you have a white spot on your background. So it's Don, right? Your name's not quite showing up.
Doug.
Doug. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent, Doug. Thank you.
Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see here.